The courtroom of the Galactic Tribunal stretched vast and cold, its crystalline walls pulsing with bioluminescent patterns that reflected the disdain of thousands of alien spectators. At the center stood Marcus Vale, a lone human in simple gray attire, his hands bound by energy shackles that hummed softly in the sterile air. Judge Zirthal loomed above on the elevated platform, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming obsidian black under the harsh lights. His 4 eyes, each capable of seeing across multiple spectrums, fixed upon Marcus with unconcealed contempt. The judge's mandibles clicked together in what passed for a sneer among his species. Human. Zirthal's voice boomed through the chamber, translated instantly into 1,000 languages by the neural interface. You stand accused of violating Protocol 7 Alpha, unauthorized colonization of Kepler 442b, a world claimed by the Xinthian Collective 3 cycles before your primitive species even achieved faster than light travel. Marcus remained silent, his blue eyes steady and unblinking. The evidence is irrefutable, Zirthal continued, gesturing with one of his 6 limbs toward the holographic display that materialized beside him. Images of human settlements, terraforming equipment, and children playing in alien soil flickered across the projection. Your kind trespassed, contaminated, and established illegal colonies. The penalty, as established by Galactic Law Article 14, Section 9, is complete evacuation and a fine of 10 trillion credits. A murmur rippled through the assembled aliens, a sound like wind through crystalline forests, mechanical chirps and subsonic vibrations all blending into a chorus of agreement. Marcus finally spoke, his voice calm and measured. Your Honor, I request permission to present a defense. Zirthal's mandibles spread wide in what might have been laughter. A defense? What defense could a filthy human possibly offer against the weight of galactic law? He leaned forward, his massive form casting a shadow over Marcus. Your species has been a nuisance since you stumbled into the stars. Aggressive, destructive, primitively emotional, you lack the sophistication for true civilization. I understand your perspective, Your Honor, Marcus replied, his tone respectful but firm. However, I believe there are several facts that the court has not yet considered. Shut up, filthy human. Zirthal roared, slamming a limb against the judgment podium. The sound echoed like thunder. You will accept your sentence with whatever scraps of dignity your species can muster. The courtroom fell silent. Every eye, sensor, and perception organ focused on the human who dared to stand against the fury of a galactic judge. Marcus took a slow breath, then spoke again, his voice cutting through the silence like a blade. With respect, Your Honor, I invoke Article 3, Section 12 of the Galactic Charter, the right of historical precedent. Zirthal's eyes narrowed. Explain yourself quickly, human, before I find you in contempt. The Xinthian Collective claimed Kepler 442b 3 cycles ago. As you stated, Marcus began, his mind racing through the legal frameworks he'd memorized during his months of preparation. However, Article 3, Section 12 clearly establishes that a claim is only valid if the claimant species demonstrates active intent to utilize the resource within 2 standard cycles. The Xinthians filed their claim properly, Zirthal snapped. They filed it, yes, Marcus agreed. But they never acted on it. For 3 full cycles, Kepler 442b remained untouched, unvisited, and undeveloped. By your own laws, the claim became void after 2 cycles of inactivity. A different kind of murmur spread through the courtroom now, one of uncertainty, of calculations being run through alien minds. Furthermore, Marcus continued, building momentum, humanity's settlement of Kepler 442b occurred 17 days after the Xinthian claim expired. We performed a complete legal search of all active claims before beginning colonization. We followed every protocol. Zirthal's exoskeleton seemed to darken. A technicality. Your species seeks to hide behind loopholes like the parasites you are. No, Your Honor, Marcus said, his voice gaining strength. We seek to hold the Galactic Tribunal to the same standards it holds us. You call us primitive, aggressive, and unsophisticated. Yet humans have never claimed a world we didn't intend to develop. We've never filed false claims to hoard resources. We've never used the law as a weapon to suppress newer species. He took a step forward despite his shackles. The Xinthian Collective has filed over 4,000 planetary claims in the last decade alone. Do you know how many they've actually colonized? 73. They use the claim system to create artificial scarcity, to control expansion, to maintain their economic dominance. You dare accuse the Xinthians? Shirthal began. I accuse no one. Marcus interrupted, a dangerous edge entering his voice. I simply present facts. Facts that this tribunal seems remarkably uninterested in examining when the accused is human. The holographic display beside Shirthal flickered as Marcus's defense AI uploaded supporting documentation, thousands, of unclaimed Xinthian territories, economic analyses showing market manipulation, testimony from other species suppressed by similar legal maneuvers. You want to know what makes humanity different? Marcus asked, his eyes burning with quiet intensity. It's not that we're more aggressive or more primitive. It's that we refuse to accept injustice even when it's wrapped in the language of law. We've climbed from nuclear fire to the stars in less time than most species take to develop warp theory. Not because we're better, but because we're stubborn. Because we don't give up. He looked directly at Shirthal, unflinching. So yes, Your Honor, call me filthy. Call my species primitive. But by your own laws, by the very charter this tribunal was founded upon, humanity's presence on Kepler 442b is completely legal. And if you rule otherwise, you prove that this court isn't about justice. It's about keeping humans in their place. The silence that followed was absolute. Shirthal stared at Marcus for a long moment, his multiple eyes blinking in sequence. When he finally spoke, his voice had lost its mocking edge. This tribunal will recess to review the evidence presented. As the judge retreated to his chambers, Marcus stood alone in the center of the courtroom, surrounded by thousands of aliens whose certainty had just been shaken. He had no idea if he'd won, but he'd done something perhaps more important. He'd made them think. And for humanity, that had always been enough.